Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. This is brought to you by me. Just me. Only me. Because I gave McFarlane a chance when I originally did not. And after speaking to my boys over at Diamond and speaking to a couple people at McFarlane, Top Butler, I'm talking about you. Enrique, I'm talking about you. So, it's one of those things that watching them wasn't enough. I had to get hands-on with them. And shout out to Eric over at Diamond who allowed me to get this and really sit down and talk to you guys about it. Because I couldn't find it anyway, actually. So, shout out to you, and I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. It's crazy because I ended up liking the armor stuff more than I liked anything else coming out of the McFarlane line so far. And this is before I even got my hands on it. So I actually do like these a lot, as well as the Spawn. As you'll see later on, I'll have Johnny Cage, and I'm going to play with him and see how I feel about that. But this is one of those lines I had to get hands on to figure out whether or not I like them. And certain things I do like and other things I do not, which kind of makes it a mixed bag for me and a little conflicting because I want to very much like it and I want to very much get very good DC toys when Mezco isn't doing stuff that I like. So it's hard because McFarlane is bringing stuff to the table that I enjoy, like the Superman Unchained armor that we have here, or the Hellbat armor, which I pretty much reviewed as well too. But it's hard when it's a scale I don't like, which is the 7-inch scale. It's hard when functionality on it is something I don't like. But the armors give us something completely different that I didn't actually think that I wanted, which I do. But the human characters do need some work. And I'm hoping that by the time it gets around to being fixed or being adjusted or learning from mistakes, that I will still very much enjoy the line. So with that being said, let's jump into the Superman Unchained armor because I've talked enough for you guys. Now, articulation wise, this guy is actually pretty fantastic with only two things that hold him back. And then the look on this guy is absolutely streamlined. There's one major gripe that I have, and that's just about it. Otherwise, I really have enjoyed this Unchained armor. Now, articulation wise, our head can go up, our head can go down. It actually has a tilt that allows you to go left and right, and it has no problem turning its head. So these are all the things I very much enjoy already. This armor is not limited. So I think that's one of those things where it looks really good. As far as our arms go, our arms can go up and it is not hindered by the fake Cape Cow armor here. We have a small amount of butterfly joint. We have a bicep swivel, which mine is kind of stuck, but we do have a bicep swivel is there. And our arms are single jointed, which I'm a little disappointed by. So that's one of those things that I am disappointed by. Our arm hinge is on a ball joint. It can come down and rotate around. Mine's pretty stiff, but it does have very good range. It is going to be hindered here by this outer armor. So it's one of those things where you can't fold the arm up or allow for arm folding things up. Now, as far as this being an armor, I know we're not getting extra add-on stuff, but the fact that you gave him trigger fingers is something that I don't truly understand, because this is not an armor that deals with guns. So if you want to call these relaxed hands, I think that's fine. But one of the few things that Superman should have always at any time is going to be flight hands and closed fist. Never anything else. So if you're going to have flight hands, that's fine. If you're going to have closed fist, that's also fine. But those are the two things that I think Superman should always have. It should be a well-known staple amongst anyone who's doing anything Superman. It's easy to just say that that should be done. Now, as far as our ab crunch goes, we have a movement that goes forward, but it's going to be hindered by that front armor. And we do have a backwards movement, and that's going to be for if you're going to do flight poses. So as you see, you lift the head up. It allows you to look for flight poses. When you're doing that as well, just remember, we can't do that because we have these in the way. So you can't get a straight arm pose out of this guy, not without posing under the armor. So flight poses are going to be out of the question. But with this armor, I don't think that's something you'll technically have to worry about. We have a rotating swivel side to side as well. And we also have this lower crunch. Mine's also very stiff, so I have to work that out. As far as our legs go, pretty far out, especially for a guy in a Superman Unchained armor. Our legs are double jointed as well too. And we get a nice ankle pivot that is on a ball joint that comes down, and you have to learn to rotate this because you can't see what you're doing technically. There's also no thigh swivel. There's a thigh joint that moves, but no thigh swivel. Now, this is probably going to be the weaker of the two armors. I think the Batman armor is way more well made, but this one does and function pretty nicely and still has a very cool look to it. If it had a cape, I think it'd be perfect. Instead, McFarlane chose to give it these wings that actually have nothing to do with the armor at all, which is very confusing, especially when you have the cape piece armor here. So I think this is one of those things where they decided to go in a different direction, and to me, that did not really work out. So I'm not being little. The thing is, I'm not being hard on it. I'm just pointing out things that when you say that you are going to be on top of it, and you do it in videos, and you show that you have an entire DC encyclopedia, it's weird that you would get this wrong, knowing that it was a cape in every single picture. So it's one of those things. I don't know. So we're gonna do the wings here. Actually, I had that upside down. And these actually focus on a ball joint by plugging in. And you can actually rotate these to go outward, as I've done here. Voila. Now, this is a very good function. It looks really good. I would have just preferred the cape, though. Not a plastic cape, a cloth one, but that's asking for too much. So I could probably understand why they've made that decision to go in a different way. Do I like it? No. But it does look good here. I won't lie and say that it doesn't look good, because it does. So if you're going to take photos, I think this is one of the more photogenic of the DC toys. And I think they look really good. I just don't know what they're actually doing just yet. So it's a little difficult for me to figure out where it's from. But I'm definitely going to give it a try if they do any more armors. Because standing this guy up right here looking like this looks like an absolute fucking unit. It looks really great. So it's hard to hate on it when it looks this good. You know what I mean? So instead of hating, I'm going to find out the good in it, and I'm going to try to take really cool photos, especially because, like I said, this guy looks utterly fantastic. So with that being said, I want to jump into the size comparisons. I'm going to leave those wings on because he's a big unit here, and I like the way he looks. But if it keeps him from standing straight up, which I think I may have a problem. Nope. Just me not balancing that midsection right. There it is. No problem. Now, let's jump into that size comparison. First things first. Let's have your boy meet up with the Hellbat armor. So they could be twinsies. You know, Batman, Superman always got armors to look cool. And then you can see the Hellbat armor is slightly bigger as well, too, than the Superman Unchained armor. These two armors have never met on panel together. So it is whatever. So as you can see here, the Hellbat armor is a little bit bigger than the Superman Unchained armor. But they both look and function about the same. They're going to protect each other. Oh, and I was wrong. I did not get him to hold up very well. And he hurt my kitty cat. So I didn't see that coming, cat front. So let's take these wings off because they're making that weight a little too heavy in the back. Didn't expect that at all. Not even going front. Next up, we're going to compare it to a Mezco Superman so we can see what he's like and if he would scale up and how he would look in that armor. Because I don't really have other Superman stuff. I do have a Cyborg Superman, so hopefully I can get him out, right? So if he's going to be a Superman in armor, I think this actually works out pretty well. So if you place him in armor, it looks pretty decent, right? Next up, you're going to compare him to a Marvel Legends in case you want to see what he's like with a 6-inch scale figure. As you can see, here we go. Voila. Next up, there is a Mezco Me. Also going to look at Superman because Superman is one of the better heroes that we have. Voila. As you can see, even I'm very tiny compared to this armor. Next up, we have an SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Cougar. Then we have a Mythic Legions Fury Orc. Then we're going to do an Articulated Icons Ninja. And then we're going to size them up with another McFarlane figure, which is the Johnny Cage. And as you can see, these guys are around the same height, which is crazy because one is supposed to be a guy in the armor. You know what I mean? But that's the 7-inch scale for you, and that's what's going to happen. Then we have a 1000 Toys Carb. Just fix this leg up. Then we're going to do a Lightning Collection Power Ranger Zeo Blue. As you can see, this guy is utterly gigantic. It's going to be hard to kind of top that unless you do something like a Mythic Legions Ogre. And as you can see here, he's not much bigger, but he is bigger. Same thing for a NECA Alien, as you can see, because they can extend their height. So that's probably going to be the only thing close enough that's going to be bigger than these guys. All in all, I have very much enjoyed the figure in this look, but it does have its faults. But it's a young line, and by young line, I mean what he's starting off with the DC Multiverse stuff. So hopefully we can see improvements within the year of 2020. If not, I probably honestly will be dropping it or cherry picking at the very least. But I do see potential. Right now, I'm just going to see how it works out, though. In the meantime, guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it informative. Hope you enjoyed the photos at the end. And as always, guys, be good, do good, drink your water. Later.